Yeah, well, Prof here, and yeah, the pile of to-do has grown, but at least tonight, since we're getting kind of late, and I got to take my car in tomorrow, just for an inspection, probably going to confirm that I need new struts. I'm pretty sure one's been leaking. I got to fix the struts. I think I already showed you all at one point. I need to fix the struts on my hatch on the back of my car, but that's a different kind of strut. We're talking suspension struts, the kind of where they're not $17 or something, where they're like $1,700. So, as always, appreciate you guys watching. We're not at the point where we're making money off this channel, and to be truthful, back in the day I was told, don't enable ads until you have like 100K, because there's no point. You don't have a choice anymore because YouTube just does it. Oh, check out this video with the GC Ultimate controller from Handheld Legends. They did correct it, messaged them. Same day, they got me shipped a case for this thing. The only thing I got to do now is figure out how to remap this easily. And I'm sure there's a way to do it. I just got to spend some time. Usually, or at least the night this week so far, I don't want to faff with getting this thing set up just to play some Hyrule Warriors, so I just grabbed the Switch controller. At some point, I gotta do that. And it's not the fault of the controller, it's the fault of the new Hyrule Warriors actually adopting a Nintendo Switch forward layout rather than, like in the past it was more of a classic controller configuration. I have not yet heard back from Tactical Keychains. We'll see if I do. On what length screw I should be using here with this guy to hold that on. Obviously it's holding, but it is a little bit short. I may have to get my calipers out. Frozen Slate just bought a pair of calipers as well, because he needed to do something for his PC, and he'd be like, oh, it'd be so great if I had a pair of calipers. And I'm like, bro, they're $3 at Harbor Freight. He did buy the more than $3 option, but yeah, I guess he didn't realize that sort of stuff is just so dang cheap nowadays. But yeah, something else interesting happened that's actually related to this video, right? So we've got our little packet. Those of you that have watched my EDC and pen videos will probably know at least what brand's in there. So here's what happened though. I carried this anodized aluminum TK Stash, which looks really nice, feels really smooth in the hand. And this was in the same pocket. This is my brass Keras Customs modal, and this was here, and this was here, and they were far enough away. But as the day happened, they came together like this, and well, turns out anodized aluminum is harder than brass. As you can see, basically a line along the pen there where this thing scratched up. So don't you go telling me I don't use my stuff. What's funny is this had a bunch of brass residue on it, on this edge right here, because it's sitting like this, right? This just literally like wiped off with a finger. Whereas that's going to take far longer. Granted, if I polished it, I bet it would come right out. Because this thing used to be like a mirror finish when Squares gave it to me. But this is my EDC. I rock that with a... yeah, this refill has, for some reason, it likes to itself with a Uniball Zento in there. Unless I'm feeling something else as my secondary. This is my old reliable. You can see there as I spin it. Look at that line. Didn't realize because the pocket I had it in was they started out here, and by the end of the day, apparently they were there, and making scratching into each other. Now let's take a look at what's in this one here. We got the letter opener, which I still need to clean with some alcohol. Oh, I hit the... Okay, so this should just be... Yes. I had to split it up because the other thing I ordered wasn't going to ship till mid-December. Or that's at least when the pre-order ended. And I didn't want this guy to be delayed with that order. The one thing that will be delayed, though, is I've talked about for some time how in my fervor to order the dual anno titanium skeletonized here from Tactile Turn, right? I forgot to get it engraved. The other thing is, once I saw this in person, I'm like, this needs a DLC clip. Now, normally I don't modify pens, but because I would have and intended on ordering this with an engraving, I ordered up a extra DLC clip for this thing, engraved. So that you will not see till that other pen ships that I pre-ordered, though, because that was what was like tied together. What's in here is a magnet, Tactile Turn, Deep Sea. All right. So this is the Tactile Turn Deep Sea, right? And you might have seen on the label there, what does it say? It says Switch Standard. Oh, it's got some sparkles in it. I don't know if you guys can tell that. I don't know how well that's going to show up. I don't know that. So it was a little chunky the first time I did it. And I've showed this before. When you reassemble these, push it forward and do it. On this one, I'm not changing out the brass switch because it goes with the theme. And you're like, why would you unscrew with it out? It's going to be under tension then. Because otherwise, it does not keep the switch mechanism in the proper like lineup and orientation, and you'll have kind of that crunchy thing that I just felt. I have a feeling if I keep this forward, kind of play with it a little bit, you can see it. You can look, it's binding up. Look at that. So that's what the crunchiness was. This then may benefit from a G2 spring, I wonder. Just like the Slim. I don't know that I ever had that happen with my I have two G2 springs left. Or two G2s with springs still in them left, I guess I should say. There's a G2 spring. Okay, so it's still locked in that forward position. So I'm going to try swapping this for a G2 spring and see if it's powerful enough. It did bind up still a little, though. Interesting. Hey, Paisley Marie. That's so freaking weird. Okay, here's the tip. It's the tip? Oh, it might just be the blue goo on the tip. actuality. Let me put this back. I bet you it's the blue goo. Hey, you can't do that, kitten. Probably gift Preston Frozen Slate. I have all these G2s without springs that I don't need the refills for. I'll probably gift him a whole bunch of those. Let me grab my other switch for those wondering. Here's my Gen 2 switch. I swapped the brass switch for the stainless one because I trust it more. Because I had issues with my brass. Here, I'll get you a kitten. There's the kitten. Yeah, kitten, give me a second. I gotta get another pen that maybe matches what's going on with that pen. It's not the Groove. Not the Buccaneer. Not the 16-bit. Ooh, that's one of my specialty ones. Not the Nebula. Not the Embrite. Oh yeah, it is reminding me. I gotta go back even further to my deep space. I bet you that's what they're going after. I'll bring over my switch here. Alright, so just for context, here's a Gen 1 switch. Here's a Gen 2 switch. The Gen 1 switch, this actually only takes Parker size, or you can modify your Uniball or G2 and cut it down, like as far as it'll cut down, and it will work. However, you can see only a little bit longer got you to this. They reworked the mechanism in the Gen 2 to be shorter for the Parker and fit a full-size Uniball refill in here. And this actually has had its mechanism swapped because I have videos of it not staying out. Apparently they reworked. Now this has like shorter dimensions for all the parts in it, right? But in this case, something on the, like how it locks up, basically, because in here, those are stainless steel and this is brass, mine had worn a line between the big opening and that little opening, so it would just boop, 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 boop. So that is why when I got my, and yes, this is a stone washed. By default, they're normally shiny like this. So the stone washed one came with the what they considered the upgraded switch, which is the brass one. I reverted it back to a stainless, just because of my experience with the other one. And I was actually using the other one enough to wear it out because I want to test their new mechanism. And I think that's second or third refill that was in that one. So before we look at that guy, I want to pull the refill out of here. Oh, gotta advance it. Like I said, I know it makes it harder to do, like tension-wise. But see, that one doesn't lock up. Oh, it turned. So I'm dealing with this tip. Stay there, tip. Okay, here's something else you gotta be worried about. See how it started turning. You don't want to tip it back or sideways. Once you have taken the tension off, you kind of want to keep it like this. If you go back to the switch 2 coming out, you can see where I've cocked that up. Because I really intended on using this switch quite a lot, I put a Zento in there. And you can see by all this schmoo up here that I can clean out, I actually had to sand it down just a hair. I think it ended up being a hair more than I anticipated. Either way, what we can do is take this G2 out, put in the Zento. Oh, we need that forward. You want that forward. Oh, they put brass guts in. So I am definitely okay with running brass because that brass in there should be the same hardness as that brass. right? The issue that I had with the original, and I personally think led to the switch wearing, was the fact that, like if we look in there, that is brass colored, right? And if we flip this back very carefully, that guy is brass colored. I guess that could be anodized titanium. That to me would make less sense. But even then, titanium is softer. Oh no, mine has like, look at that. So is there something in the tip? Oh, it's just, yeah. You will not be able to see this. There is like a sprue. Yeah, I need a flashlight or something. And if you can see it in there, there's like a, it's catching on like a little bit of a leftover from the milling procedure. I don't know if it's how well it's focusing on that. Using my Army Tech. This is a Nichia, but it's not just the Nichia. It's 3000K in the Skill Hunt headband. If you guys haven't seen that video, check it out. Even if you have any 18650 headlamp, get yourself the Skill Hunt headband. Whether it's a zebra light, like one of you recently came into the Discord asking about. It turns out I have not personally owned one. I just always went with the Army Tech because they're diffuse. The zebra light is tiny by comparison. Holy shit! It's a little baby guy. Even though it's still an 18650, I don't know how they do that, because from my experience, all the other brands of 18650 are the same or actually bigger than Army Tech. Now Army Tech can be a little bit big because it's got its charging base that I remove, and it's got just some of the back end to support the charging. Here you can see I'm getting metal out of there. You see that? A little bit of, there you go. That is what is catching the refill. That was just a little piece of it for those wondering it. I realized I could move it around. So a little pop of air seems to have cleared that up. And like, you're like, why'd you grab this? Well, these are like actually like makeup applying Q-tips. They're real pointy. I used them for lubing keyboard switches, as well as just other small components. So whatever, I'm around the camera right now. I need to not be around the camera to see why this is not going down. Yeah, it's hanging up. Alright, so this is technically not the refill it's made for. Alright, it's made for this G2. Let's see if it still does the thing. I do not remember my other one that I took this refill out of. Yeah, it's like fighting. Like, that's so weird. Because like it doesn't even get to the point where you can thread it. And yes, I can put it back, even though I said don't do that, right? So it does thread on. But that's where it's like gritty. Let me try this with my other one. Maybe I'm just... Oh, I accidentally flipped it the wrong way. Maybe I'm just crazy. I had far better experience lining stuff up when I held this forward. So tension was on it. And then I put this on. Look at that. First try. First try. First try. Right in there. So something is definitely... different dimensionally on the inside of that. I got back together. Yeah. I can just feel it be... It's not as smooth of a... Don't tell me. You guys can't see what I'm doing. I'm basically checking if it's flat. You see this? It like... Yeah, it is. Is it just tighter due to the Cerakote? It might just be tighter tolerances due to the Cerakote, but the Cerakote shouldn't be internal. I guess if you guys have the new Deep-C, let me know if yours is also like that, or if you have a Gen 2 switch to compare to. You know, what I think the Deep-C, if you guys are wondering, is styled after is my Deep Space. Now, I think personally the Deep Space looks better than the Deep-C. Let's do a 2x zoom here. So here's our Deep Space. I got a really good one of these too. A lot of people I saw didn't have as good of a like a dispersion, like it was like more grouped together. This one is truly beautiful, and it does have like sparkles in it, and it's an iridescent. So if we do here, right, it's got sparkles, and that's not the white spots, but like way in there, if you look in there, there's sparkles, and then there's also iridescent where it's going to change blue purple. Like it is a, in my opinion, this is actually up there for like Nautilus #1. Truly, I think this is #2 for me. #3 would be Fairway, the green one, which is very similar to Nautilus. I could tell right away that this was on the same level as the Deep Space. I mean, it's right in the name, Deep Space, Deep-C, right? We went with a black clip, you know, Same sort of stylized. This is even more sparkles in it than the Deep Space did. It's just not as like that. That's got some flavor to it. You know what I mean? I do, because you can see like from here down, they didn't put much of the Cerakote. I wonder if that's purposeful, or if it's just my. If you ever want to gamble, don't choose me. I literally have other people open my loot boxes because I'm so unlucky. Put it that way. I don't know that I've ever won anything in my freaking life. Being serious. I shouldn't say. I think I've won 2 things ever. By chance. Now I've won things where like, oh, you got to do like, answer the thing, yada yada yada. You know what I mean? Deep Sea Seasonal. What do we have for? So here's we've got the website, based on popular switch pen, titanium body with bronze toggle. Oh, so it's not brass this time; it's bronze. Okay, because if we go to the switch, stonewashed, sold out. There's the guy I got rid of right there. Magnus click thing, yada yada. Wide length one day. A lot of this is pulled from the Switch Gen 1, not the Switch Gen 2. Slim switch, which the standard switch is now called the Slim switch, for those wondering. If you go to Stonewashed, which is still in stock, click Shift View on, also available in center diameter, switch, durable switch, titanium body, milled clip and hardware, stainless steel, yada yada, titanium Damascus clip, specifications. We're probably gonna have to check my email. Alright. The Switch version 2. Okay, they don't call it the Gen 2, they call it the version 2. And yes, I really vibed with, that's a stonewashed with a brass, I forget what that through bolt is called on the knife, but they're basically making it match that, which was a very popular version of this guy, the Rockwall thumb stud. This is the skeletonized version. Lengths and finishes. Machine comes with stainless steel toggle for a clean look. Matte gray stone, bronze. I was wrong. Bronze. So maybe it was bronze in the original too. Then I had issues with stainless steel. This piece was stainless steel, I believe, and that piece was like the 2 bits on top were stainless steel. And then those were rubbing the bronze, which wasn't hard enough. They said it's bronze rather than just a silver. They don't go into, you can kind of see it here, that it's a different material in there. Take the plunge. Oh, here, barring a painting technique comes from the deep space. Oh, I didn't read that. Yep. Fantastic on challenging watery depths, swirls, blends them glisten and light, custom Cerakote. Yep. Yeah, so some people do have way more going on. I just didn't win the, like, I won my deep space. My deep space is way up there, right? Like I said, it's probably like number 2. This one is less colored too, but like, you know, if we were down on this one, like, look at it, it's got there, it's got there. And that's kind of what you get with these is, you know, variety, and you kind of roll the dice. I don't think I won it this time. Mine's very similar to the one they have in the picture here, but that guy, so a little bit more action going on. Titanium body with bronze toggle. So I don't know. They definitely changed it up though. If I asked, I could probably find out. So I don't know if this is stainless steel, if it's titanium for this top piece, this top and bottom piece, right? Then they could have anodized that, like heat anodized. See, like this piece right there, and there's another one up top. Based on power switch structure, this version a redesigned cap to cut down on overall length. They mean this bit and that bit. And they changed the standard size over to the deep carry pocket clip. This is their older design, which a lot of people say, oh, it's cheaper than this. I only buy ones with milled clip. I prefer this clip personally. It's way more flexible, deeper carry. That's why I went with this one. Also, I already had this gen switch, pretty much like you're seeing here, because that was the gen 1. I mean, there's very different, a little bit different between the gen 1 and gen 2 slim. Spare parts section. Maybe the spare parts section. No, I don't want the toggle. I want the bip and the bop, the beep and the boop, the bop and the beep and the boop. If you're running spare parts, are all at the bottom here, down there. Parker style refill. Is this titanium? They don't say. Yeah, I'd have to reach out. The finish has definitely changed though. So I'm less concerned about the bronze. But yeah, I am definitely fully in on, or fully, like, yep, they even say down here that this is based, like a follow-up to the deep space, which I think fully makes sense. And you know what? I really won on my deep space. Like, I love how this one looks. And some people have commented like, oh, it's just a spiral from here, boop, 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 to there. And now it's not super consistent. And it is. But that means, like, no matter how you're holding it, you're always getting a little bit of, like, look at that angle. Ooh. You know? It's always got a little bit of zest for you, whereas a lot of the zest here is under the clip I fear wear, right? Like right there. And realistically, minus that one white spot, I don't have much. You know, it's a little white swoosh. That's it. This thing definitely feels tighter than, a little bit more chewy than my, you can even, I don't know if you guys can hear this. Yeah, I don't know. I can feel it. That doesn't mean I can hear it. It's a little deeper tone going out and a little bit sharper click going up. Whereas this is a little deeper tone going up, sharper tone going down. Yeah, I tried the refill. It's the pen. I don't think it's an issue there. It does fit. I tend to prefer to fit these switches with, yeah, it just feels. Let me try and put this refill in there and see if I get that same vibe. Get out of there. Yeah, that fit better. Oh! Yeah, like something's off. I was seeing that before. I might have to message him. Never fun when this happens. Just to, now the switch mechanism, because I didn't push it forward. It doesn't want to go back. All right, let's grab, I have other G2 refills. So this guy is the one I use temporarily. If I don't want to, I might toss it in here, because I'm not a big 0.5 fan, right? Just so it doesn't dry out, I stick a little piece of tape over top of it, and because I won't want to make a refill fit for this until I know it doesn't have an issue. Yeah, it's just way harder to like. All right, I just spun it around a little bit. Let's put it back on there. Let me do that on this one. I'm gonna put this guy back in there. It's way easier on this guy. So back. It's got to be the Cerakote or something. Maybe it'll wear in. Worst case, lifetime warranty, you know. And you can hear it go ping. Like it's actually taking, like it's retraction. I wonder if I can. It's like a little delayed. I will admit the .38 G2 does fit this pen very well at the tip. Got a bit of ting to it. Yeah, I do think sadly I lost the gamble, because all of these are made, like they use the same techniques, right? But this one, in my opinion, looks beautiful. And I saw a lot of them that looked closer to this, but for the deep space. And some people also ask, like, well, why do you say that the full size, the standard width side click feels so much different than the slim one? Well, the slim one, when you press this, it goes down into the body. Look at this, especially this older one, it never even gets close. You know, some of the newer ones do go flush. I got one. No, I don't have one here. I do have the Anzo. I kind of went over that in the Anzo review. This one goes right to it. Right? Whereas the slims traditionally go into the pen. got to be something about dimensions for the refill, etc. Right? So, here. Yeah, I mean, it rates like a Pilot G2. Being that this, like I said, being that this guy's my number 2 for Tactile turn seasonals, I was somewhat highly anticipating this guy. Very much the same vibe. I think this one's got more pop. That purple in it, that's iridescent, like has just more to it. That may be soured a little bit, like I said, by the fact that mine seems to not, basically a third of the pen is just blasé, right? But that's kind of with these ones that are designed to have variants like that. That's just kind of what you get. You know what I mean? I am kind of interested in, you know, the fact that these are a different color. So I wonder if they accounted for the fact that, like, you know, I switched this over to a stainless steel in the seasonal here. I would find that interesting if they did. But yeah, here, let's take another peek. Here's what the deep sea, let's do a 2x. Here's what the deep sea looks like. Sort of a darker blue with, it's got deeper sparkles in it, I would say, than the deep space. Deep blue ocean with some like white cap waves. You know, maybe a little bit less punchy than deep space. Maybe a little bit more classy because of that bronze switch there. I mean, it's running this G2 refill perfectly fine. The this guy was getting a little bit hung up in it. The what is that? The Zento. So, though on some of these I've had to, you've seen me before, do modifications to the Uniballs, where you kind of slope some of the sides that are, like, some of them are really harsh and flat. You just got to take your X-Acto or utility knife and just give them like a 45 or a 30 degree angle, just kind of help them to go through some of these sharper things. And this one we saw, there was a little bit of sprue, if you want to call it that, in the tip still. So that probably didn't help. But yeah, truthfully, I may just leave this guy 0.38 G2 and see if I can actually enjoy writing with a G2 for once. It seems to be doing pretty well, and it fits the tip of this thing real well. So sometimes, now if I end up, you know, this is just on a sticky note right now. All right, let's see here. Oh, this guy's dried out on the tip a little bit. Come on, Mr. Zento, perk up. The Zento does not want to write well for right now for some reason. There we go. Just because it had been sitting there for a while. I've actually considered putting the G2s back in these pens, but then I can't use them right away when I want to. That's kind of why in the back of my notebooks, I think I've shown them before, like the back couple pages, like, you know, let's say 1, 2, 3 pages, are actually literally just me scribbling, because often I'll go and grab a pen where the refill on it is, you know, but it's been sitting, like, maybe, you know, because Deep Space is one of my favorites, you know, maybe even once, maybe I got to rock both of these, you know, just to just to have one. Oh, that's such good. If that is a thing that the Zento does, because this is going to have the cellulose refill in it, guaranteed. UMR 83, the 207 or 307 refill. Yep, 83, and you can see that thing's been used. It is pooping itself a little bit though. That happens when they get stored tipped down without a cover on them. Air starts coming in, because normally the air pressure is what pushes the ink out, but you're not writing, right? So then air goes up through the tip. Yeah, this Zento doesn't want to get started. Weird. Just the sticky note. Sometimes refills don't like writing on certain materials. Here, I'll use the back of the packing slip. No, it doesn't want to get going there either. What about this guy? Yeah, so that might be one downside of the Zento, is that if you let it sit, and this one's in my last 10 or so pens, so and there's no bubbling up in here. You can see up there, right? But apparently if you let the Zento sit for a bit, it takes a bit to get going, which is interesting. Whereas the 307 cellulose, I'll admit, you know, and here's the 0.38. And now we're getting little splooshes at the start. You can see here, yeah, it's not running correctly, because we're getting those. That's like when you put it down and it goes. It shouldn't be doing that. Interesting. Let's see if this does it. See, cellulose won't do that. I mean, it's got a little bit, but it's not like, it's like this thing is putting down ink in like a glob and then trying to write without rolling it. Now, this may just be that Zento refill. We can easily check that with this guy. Yeah. I think we got a bunk Zento refill. Yeah. Top one is this guy with my original Zento refill. That's kind of pooping out of its butt. You saw when I took it apart. And the bottom one is this guy. And it seems to be writing real light. Like in the beginning, it puts out too much ink. Like there. And then here's what this looks like. There's a comparison of the line. Top one is how it should be performing. Bottom one is what's in my Switch version 2. So no idea what happened to that refill. I mean, sometimes you do just get bad refills. That one I don't think it's been used that much. Maybe you got to use it more. Maybe that's the thing, you know. Sometimes you just got to get them. And then even like sometimes the tips, if you dropped them, will have like a dent on one side of the ball or the tip or something. So you gotta kind of roll them. I can hear it scraping a little bit. Yeah, you can even hear the ball rattle. Huh. Yep, you can see even after all that scratchy, we have up. No bueno. That's going to bug the crap out of me. And I did notice this on this one. I don't know how well you can see this, but there's a little bit of ink that's always stuck on the tip. Not on the very tip, but on the like side of the tip. And I think that's where we're getting that little because this guy doesn't do that. There's no like yeah, you can just tell. It's gotta be a battery fill. It starts out good, right? And then goes to I wonder, what did I do to this guy? Okay, this is in. Okay, so I notched it. You know what I bet I didn't do? Oh, unscrew. I did notch it. Well, you know what? To make sure, we will do what I was recommended by one of you online and get a drill bit, 16th inch drill bit, and use that. I don't know if the 16th is going to be enough. Here's these bimetals. I couldn't get the bigger set. 16th is a baby guy. Yeah. I'd probably do like 3/32, to be truthful. That's going to be hard to start though. Maybe we start with the 16th. Yeah, he was saying that I don't know that I'm going to be able to do this by hand. I mean, I guess I'd probably just get a drill out though. You can take a 16th inch drill bit and run it through the side of here by hand. I do literally have a drill feet away from here though. We'll use the the 761 that really needs to be rebuilt and cleaned up. Normally I would clean these up right away. But this one I pretty much knew I was going to send out to be rebuilt right away. Looking at it though, it's just dirty. We'll see. Hey, look at that drill. Real fast, like. No, we're not actually on drill. On the drill, we had it on the one tension. Oh! Somebody assembled this wrong. I remember why I didn't fuck with this too much. I got to take it apart. So, you can't go past here. So 1 isn't actually 1. Somebody fucked with this. So, you can't actually get it to drill because it's 3 notches. Like somebody put the collar in wrong. I remember this now. That's why I didn't put it to use right away. I'll go to 5/64. I feel like maybe I'm too much of a perfectionist, but yeah, I think I'm gonna need a chamfer bit. I also don't know if 5/64 is enough. Let's take that to 5/32. That's what I thought we were gonna need. Maybe do a 16th and then up to the 3/32. The other thing that we need is a chamfer bit. See something. All right, so we're gonna chamfer this. Right, but now I want to show you this. See that ink on the side there? That's what makes me think this is a leaky bit. Leaky refill. Here, all that ink came off the side. Never good. Now, it could be not feeding enough because I'm realizing now that that V shape I put in didn't go down far enough. That may have still been in the cup of the pen. So I'm going to take this 16th and bit again, and I'm going to... Oh, here's another reason why this needs to go in. I didn't realize this until the printing. These Snap-on 761s in yellow or silver. This tooth of the 3-toothed is longer. So that's why, like, with this messed up and this like this, I was kind of like, It just needs to go in before I really put it to use. Not saying it's not usable as is, but with that one tooth being longer like that, it is not necessarily going to drill straight. I don't know if that tooth is the right term there. It's like a prong, maybe. It's called a prong. But, and yes, you're probably like, well, why'd you pay good money for it then if it's all messed up? Like, obviously the person on eBay didn't say it was messed up, right? Also, the yellow ones are so rare. Just having one that operates is a step up from my other yellow one of these, which is, if you think this one's bad, that one barely functions. So, now, I don't believe you can get, you can see grease come out of it too now that I'm using it. Yeah. I need to just send this one in. Spend the $100-something bucks, have them rebuild it. Alright, so once again, because I realized those holes were not much lower than that thing, so I just did another set of holes. Fuck it. This thing's still leaking. So, that tends to be what happens. I used to see it all the time in the Hi-Tec-Cs, where they wouldn't write well, like they'd write light, like this one is, and then when they would do that, they would leak. So it's not an uncommon thing for a. Yeah, if you're hearing this thing's chuck going off, like you're hearing, or say clutch. That's because I can't turn it off all the way. So this didn't seem too bad, but and I would like here, like there's only a little bit of wear here, right? A little bit of wear there. This usually the label condition is a good indication of like how much wear it's seen. Oh, that one picked it up fast. Jesus. Oh, turns out when you run the chamfer in the right direction, it chamfers real good. This is actually a metal chamfer. I did have a wood one, but it's not small enough. That's probably not helping things either. Yeah, I don't know if I probably should have just done a bigger V. But hey, we got holes in this bad boy now for days. Let's get them back in the switch. See how she writes. These bimetal ones, DeWalt, pretty good money. You can get this set for like $10 on during the holiday season now. I think I actually just saw same set, $10, slightly bigger, better set, 12 or $15. A full set was like 25 or something. Like, very reasonable. Pick this up maybe as your starter set, and then I was kind of showing off in some other videos. My go-to nowadays is the place with cheap Chinese ones off of Amazon. Yep, still makes a sploosh, 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 sploosh. And it's even running light there. Doing better? Nope. Other thing you can see, it like there's like a line down the middle. Now that happens in a lot of gel refills, but this you can see why it's actually like collecting around the tip. New Zento. We're doing a new Zento though. I should probably put it in the new one. So let's try and pop the new Zento in here. Probably made it slightly too long. Oh, geez, get the fuck in there. Yeah, you can see by that, it's just, that's what you get if you don't cut down the refill. Tip sticks out just a hair. Let's try this again. Peel this off. Take about 2 millimeters off there. Probably could have gotten away with 1 millimeter. Look at that. There's a little bit thicker at the start and at the end. Nothing like we saw before. And test scribble. Yep, so it's bad refill. Mother. For refill is when it's super easy to cut this V-notch in the Zento refill because the sidewalls of here are so much thinner than the standard or the older style, like the UMR 83, UMR 83E. I think a Sharpie pen might be easier, but that's about it, realistically. And that's for proper flow because there's like a cup in there that cups over it like this, right? Like this goes flush against and it cups over, right? Now on a G2, there's this little slot here. That makes sure that the little hole in the top, which is big enough, that provides enough atmospheric pressure to advance the gel, right? So if you have something hard and you cover that, it doesn't cover the slot, and that lets enough air in, right? Right, because that slot's not covered. However, the Uniball refills don't have that. So basically, you're cutting that notch in so that atmospheric pressure can get at it. Otherwise, it's going to write light. That's why I, like made sure it had it, re-put all those holes in, etc. But like I said, that refill was bad, and I could tell because it shouldn't have all that excess ink around it, right? And that notch that you saw me take out this time, that's probably what I would recommend. I sometimes even used to do two smaller notches, but you want to go deep enough that it gets outside of the what do you want to call it, the cup that's holding that refill. Otherwise, you're going to have restricted flow, because if you cap the air off, nothing's pushing this down. Gertrude's here, and we're going to call it. I'm going to modify one more of these Zento refills to put in my Gen 2 switch there, because I would like to actually use it and have it not write like shit. So, yeah, we'll see you in the next video. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Let me know what you thought about the latest seasonal from Tactile Turn, the Deep Sea, the spiritual successor to the Deep Space. See you in the next one. Peace.